So I'm here at the Nomad Barbershop with Miguel, who is an international journalist, a barber, barbershop owner, award-winning barber, and the list goes on. But we'll find out a little bit more about that as we get a little bit more into the interview. So Miguel, it's just a standard question. Where was it you started in barbering, and what was your inspiration and motivation to become a barber?
So I started when I was just left school, 16, and I literally didn't know what I was going to do. So I went to Connections, which is like job centre for kids, and they kind of asked what I liked, and I said like business, studies, history as well was another thing, and I always also considered being a chef. I mentioned barbering as I knew that it was a good trade to be in if you could, work on the business side. One of my dad's friends owned a few barbershops, and he always had a new car, he had a nice house with a garden, so I thought maybe it's not such a bad thing. So I guess the idea of working within a trade where you didn't have to stand outside in the cold getting dirty and then not going to university was probably the best thing for me. I've got a real problem with attention, in school I pretty much just daydreamed through it. So that was, I started in a shop in Liverpool called Voodoo, lasted about 5 months there. It was like a men's sort of salon, I guess, more like they did a lot of colours, like fashion cuts. And I knew it wasn't for me at that time, so I moved to a proper traditional 30 haircut a day barbershop called Joe Cummins Men's Hair in a place called Garston in Liverpool. And I just kind of worked up from there and worked around all different shops in Liverpool, and then went to Australia and then ended up in London.
Okay. And what prompted you to embark upon the world tour, if you like?
I guess I always knew I needed to do a bit more travelling before I got my own shop. That was like the main thing. What was holding me back was that we started to do quite fun things within the shop I was working in. Started to get my name out there a little bit, won the American Crew Award, started to get in magazines, and I was like, how can I still be a part of the industry basically, but go travelling? So I kind of started thinking, at the very beginning it started off as maybe I could just do photos of me cutting hair in cool places, then it was trading haircuts for things. And then, it was just a combination of things I like, so documentaries, film, photography, travel, barbering, and then just creating one project out of it. And as soon as I come up with the name and drew the logo out, it kind of all just happened. And it's since then, maybe not so much now, but at the very beginning, up until the end of the trip, it was all improvised, like nothing was planned, so.
Sounds like the Barberman way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So up until that point, did you have any kind of camera skills or film studies of sorts? Did you study anything?
So I did a short course, which I saw on Gumtree actually, which was a 6-week, 1 night a week course where a lady was just trying to see if she could teach photography as a career, I guess. She was a photographer. That's how I learned how to shoot like manual with an SLR and stuff like that. Learned a bit to do with studio lighting, and I'm really impulsive, so as soon as I did that, I bought my own studio lights, backdrops, everything, started shooting in my bedroom, which wasn't that big. And from then, it was kind of like, just learning on the fly. And then when we went on our trip, I learned a lot off the guy I went with, Mike. He taught me, it was just like the camera settings, how to hold the camera, the way to use different lenses and stuff like that. And then since then, it's just kind of become a bit of a passion. So learning how to make the quality better is like what I want to do, basically.
And do you still have itchy feet to do these like major tours? Because that was over quite a period of time.
I guess it's like maybe not like a year tour. If I go away now, it's definitely more building the brand and stuff, and kind of listening to what people have told me, like feedback, things I don't like about the first videos and things I do like, and trying to create something new and exciting, because like I've done that now. I've done the travel, I've done that type of documentary. So I guess the aim is to create something a bit more stylized, a bit more cinematic, I guess, and try and create a new thing for barbering. So that's the plan for the next trips.
Tell me, what was the most bizarre kind of technique or trait you saw on your travels that's involves barbering?
I wouldn't say there's anything bizarre because I did a bit of research online before, so it might have been bizarre for other people. Obviously, everyone always comes back to the cosmic barber who does this cosmic energy healing when he gave me a head massage. He was just a bit nuts, to be honest. And then things that are different from the UK barbers is generally the Turkish massages, the Indian head massages, the facials, like threading, ear cleaning. Like they do that in a lot of Southeast Asian countries. Like they literally scrape wax out of your ear. And all that's involved in the barbershop, which is crazy because we do haircuts and shaves and beard trims.
And what style kind of stuck in your mind from what you saw all around the world? Was there any kind of particular hairstyle that kind of stuck out and you kind of implement now?
Hairstyle? It's a funny one because I mean, every country has different types of hairstyles, but with social media now, and everyone's got Instagram around the world, everyone's got Twitter, everyone's got Facebook, the trends that are coming from Western countries are literally traveling to places like Singapore, Australia, all these places, and even India. The trends are traveling there instantly, like through pages like Barbershop Connect, some of the talented barbers in the US and the UK. So a lot of the younger people are having the same haircuts as we have here. It's just obviously different types of hair textures. So in terms of interesting cuts,
you felt at home everywhere.
Yeah. Pretty much everyone had some sort of side part or pompadour everywhere we went. So
Scorum got to them.
You Scorum? Yeah. It's worldwide.
And what was your most favourite spot out of all of the places that 30 countries that you've visited?
Quite recently I went to Mexico and Guatemala. I really love them places. Like I think coming from a Latin background is, it's kind of an exciting place to be, that part of the world. Obviously being able to speak a little bit of Spanish as well helps. India is just a mind-blowing place. You get thrown out of your comfort zone straight away, and that's what travel is to me. It's an adventure, so you need to be like, it shouldn't be so comfortable. It shouldn't be set up for tourists as such. So yeah, definitely India. And then, it's so hard to pick. I love the Middle East as well. Getting to go to like Dubai and Kurdistan, like the northern part of Iraq. Mind blown.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about your web series. What message are you trying to put across to barbers across the world? Tell me what the full process is behind the web series.
I guess for when I was looking online, I was looking for what different cultures were like within the barbershop. I didn't really get that many answers. I saw techniques, but not really people. And when it comes to photography and video, like people fascinate me, portraits, the visual aspect of different people's characteristics. So I guess it's showing people what barbering's like around the world culturally rather than just technically. And then, just showing how it differs really, and just showing people's personalities, but in a cool, modern way.
Okay, perfect. And what would you say the best kind of ninja barbering trick that you've learned? Because going to 30 different countries, as you said, it kind of opens up your mind to different techniques with the air wax cleaning. But in terms of barbering directly that could benefit someone in the Western world, what kind of ninja trick was the best one for you?
It's honestly like the simple things which I love. Like the whole service. So like we do massage at the end of shaves in here. We have 3 different types. We have an Indian inspired one, a Turkish inspired one, and just a British one. And I think what was interesting for me is how people shaved, because the Indian and the Turkish barbers are incredible at shaving. They do, 15, 20 a day. It's just a normal thing for guys to get groomed in the barbershop and not shave at home. So to see how fast and precise and, consistent they are with the shaves, that's something I will look on. It's not necessarily a crazy out there technique, but if you watch the videos, you can see how fast they are. Like little things like you just have to watch the videos, and it literally just flies off, and they just put the excess on the back of their hands. Things that just makes the service a little bit faster, but also just adds to the experience as well.
Yeah, because you kind of see when you go into a lot of UK barbershops, it can kind of take them 35 minutes, and there's a lot of faffing about to actually get to the shave. I mean, the only boys that I personally see, obviously there's a lot more of the Rixon boys in Southport. They've kind of got it down to a fine art and a system and so forth. So.
Yeah.
And Liverpool boys, good old Liverpool boys being in Southport.
Yeah.
So tell me, what kind of opportunities have presented themselves as a result of your YouTube channel and your Instagram? Because you know you've got quite a few million views off your YouTube channel, so that must have presented you with a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, I get inundated with like emails, and it can come in like heavy flows, and then I might just get 1 or 2 a day. But I get obviously contacted by a lot of brands and people asking me to do events and education and stuff. And like, I don't think we're ready as a brand to start offering education at the moment. So it's not like I've done workshops and stuff like that, collaborating with other brands as well. There's just a lot of things that I don't, really fancy doing. It's not really my bag. But yeah. A lot of people email me about the most random things. It could be anything from promoting their product to doing this to doing that. And I don't want to be a sellout, so I wouldn't just upload things on YouTube for the sake of getting paid for it,
Okay, so you're just keeping it real, and if anything is close to your heart,
then
we can look forward to seeing it in the future, or it's taken place in the past.
Yeah, if it's going to be a product, I want it to be my product that I'm selling in a sense, you know what I mean? I don't want people to... I'd rather be proud of myself than be wealthy. Do you know what I mean?
Keeping it real.
Yeah.
Okay, talking about products, is there any plans to bring out your own product in the future?
Yeah, so obviously we know that the barbershops are overflowing with pomades and beard oils at the moment, and independent brands, and a lot of them are really excellent and stuff like that. I just feel like when I do it, I want it to be done proper. I want it to be a full range, and like all the branding just to be perfect, and set up distribution around the world. And yeah, so the next year, basically from June onwards, when I start traveling, I'll be doing a month on, a month off. That's all to do with brand building, trying to create a whole brand and a new aesthetic and a real like voice and like for the brand basically. And then just establish ourselves as a really good barbershop, a really good brand to trust, and then come out with a good hair and shave and skincare line eventually, yeah.
I was just saying that you've kind of given it away. It's going to be a wet product.
Yeah, yeah. And American clipper converters.
Please do. I'm into competition. And also, I mean, with all these opportunities and planning, travel and so forth, how much time do you actually get to cut on the shop floor now?
So I usually work 2 or 3 days a week, and then I might do the odd haircut in the week as well. I found that taking a slight step back and kind of pushing the boys in the shop a little bit more really helped the business, because when I was here 5-6 days a week, sometimes 7 for the first like good few months, I was here all the time. My mind wasn't fully in it all the time I was here, because I knew that when I'd go home I'd be on the laptop till 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. and then I'd wake up same the next day, and I just became to a point where I was just getting sick a lot, and I knew that I needed to kind of split it, but because I can't afford to hire someone to do all the photography and video and editing and answer emails and do all that stuff for me just yet. So it's the perfect balance for me right now. I still get to see my regular clients, and then when I'm in the shop, I'm not thinking about anything else. And then when I'm in the office or doing photography or film or anything like that, I'm just focused on that.
Okay, and let's talk a little bit about appointment software. How would you say that appointment software helps you balance this, all these different tasks that you have to do?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's so much easier having an online-based software. We use Reserva basically. I looked at the old, big computer systems and stuff, and just the cost of it over the 3-4 years it was just too much for me. when you can get an online software for $30 a month or whatever it is. And it's just easy and updating constantly. They're adding new things. They're taking advice from other barbers, like what they want from it. And then sometimes it's a problem you have to, with the way people book sometimes, it might leave gaps that you can't fill, but you can always move people about. And then it's just a really efficient system as long as you do that. Okay. It just helps. I just like to know what I'm doing, who I'm seeing, and
where you're going.
Where I'm going, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And there's talk of Nomad Barbershop 2. Tell me a little bit about this new shop.
So we basically found a store in Berlin, which is, I guess it goes with the whole Nomad theme. I knew Berlin is, it's a good opportunity because there's not many, Western style barbershops there. Hoping to do maybe something to do with a coffee shop, maybe a bar as well. And then kind of the boys who work here as well are also going to work on a rotation system. So we'll always have someone from our shop over there working. And then, it's just going to be really fun.
Okay, cool, perfect. I wish you very, very best of luck with that. Also, what has been your most satisfying moment in barbering with everything that you've done?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, like I said before, I get inundated with emails, but it's when I get quite a lot of emails of people or comments on YouTube about that they got into barbering because of my videos, and that for me is like that blows me away. There's people I looked up to in the industry when I first started, or a few years into it, and I try and reply as much as I can. Sometimes it's just I get lost because there's so much to do, but that sort of stuff is what really makes me day, makes me smile, and makes me realize that the series is actually doing something good. It's making people look at barbering in a new way, rather than just looking at it in we do this and we just do that. Like there's actually a whole world to it. You can travel with it as well.
And another point that you've missed when you've worked so hard, because obviously that kind of level of travelling and producing a video is not, it looks easy, the end result, but actually coming up to that, I mean, it's sleepless nights, it's stress, it's loss of friendships, relationships and so forth. I mean, there's a lot of sacrifices.
Unbelievable. Like people would just when we were on the trip, people would message and say, when's the next video out? And I'm there doing 3 overnight buses in a row, and we weren't getting paid for it. We were living off £20 a day, and literally any old hostel or guest house we could stay in, we'd go on overnight buses just so we didn't have to pay for a hotel, and then we'd try and edit on buses and trains and whatever, and how much goes into a video. We released about 50 in that 1 year, which is I guess it's 1 per week if you narrow it down. The editing time for an actual episode is at least 3-4 days. So
I'm sat here laughing because I know after being a wedding photographer and actually doing the videos now, but just interviews, obviously not on the scale that you were. Okay, so having seen a lot in the barbering community with all your travels and obviously exposure through your YouTube channel, what are the best things about barbering right now for you, and what are the worst things about barbering for you right now?
I think the best thing is that a lot of people are kind of coming together and pushing the industry and really, putting it out there quite a lot. Even seen just a couple of days ago, Josh Davis was on This Morning doing a piece on the barbershop industry in the UK, and I find that unbelievable how far we've come in terms of we're respected. I'd say the bad thing is that because it's so cool right now, and everyone says this, you get a lot of people who are getting into it definitely for the wrong reasons, who say, they say, I've always wanted to be a barber, but they didn't go down that route and they were, the 30 odd, but if you wanted to do it, you could have done it 12 years ago. Now you want tattoos and have a beard and do a slick side part and stuff. And them haircuts have only been popular since I got back from traveling. When I got back, I was like, skin fades? I haven't done one of those in about 8 years. Do you know what I mean? The type of shops I was working in. So I'd say it's the mass amount of people coming through the industry, like, and coming into like the fast courses and stuff. Like the courses are great, but I think there's too many people coming through, and then they're coming and then not getting the shop experience, and then opening shops, and then there's just like an overflow of barbershops, which I think is what happened, 30, 40 years ago. And then we started to go cheaper again, and everything started to go downhill because the quality got less and less. And I think a lot of people kind of see it as an easy ride. I remember I told someone once, like, apprentice, clean, work hard, and they were like, what, apprentice? I'm a qualified barber. I've just come off a course. And I was just like, really? Like, you never scrubbed the toilet for a year? Or like my old boss used to make me clean the ceilings. It's like, you need to do the work to learn how to be a barbershop owner, especially. You need to know every aspect of the business, how to, from cleaning to doing the till to stock checking and stuff like that.
And tell me a little bit about the growth of your YouTube channel and Instagram, because obviously a lot of barbers will be kind of inspired by the numbers of people that you attract. So how did you start growing your Instagram and your YouTube channel?
I started my Instagram on, it would have been January 1st, 2013. So it's three and a bit years ago now. So yeah, it's right. So I don't know what day it is. And I started following a lot of barbers, and I just had in the bio, no pictures. I just said, traveling the world, documenting barbering, like, I think it was like trading haircuts for things, but that didn't end up happening. And just kind of like interacting with a lot of barbers, and I think the American Crew Face-Off thing helped me, like, kickstart me a bit. And then just uploading pictures. That, I guess Instagram wasn't as big in the UK then, maybe, within the barbershop trade. But then I started to discover a lot more barbers around as well. And then, I think it really started to push when I basically started to post other pictures of street barbers around the world, and people started to take notice. I'd go onto the pages, give them a follow, and cheeky like with the hashtags and stuff, and that kind of made people look and go, oh, what's going on here? And then just the YouTube, as soon as the videos started coming out, a lot more. I think it's a totally different crowd. I don't think necessarily everyone who follows me on Instagram watches my YouTube channel, and vice versa. Because loads of people are like, oh, you do videos? It's like, that's the whole point. Like, so it's kind of grew organically over the few years I've been doing it.
Was there an exponential kick at any point?
Yeah, when the Cosmic Barber videos came out, I think them videos, between 3 videos of him, there's, I think it's 5 or 6 million views. So that helps.
Wow. So you owed Cosmic Barber a lot.
Yeah. Well, he owes me a lot as well. He's been flying around the world. He's like for journalists, like news channels and stuff, and getting
and
paid
it's
for it.
plastered on the front of your shutter.
Yeah. The first thing I sent him, he's got WhatsApp now, so I sent him that picture on WhatsApp, and he just said, "Send me money." It's just like, why? It's like, thought we were friends, and he was like, I'll give you my bank account details, send me money. I'm like, nah.
And finally, what's kind of next for you, Miguel, in terms of travel, and what's your next destination?
So when I start traveling, I'll be doing probably from June, 1 month on, month off, month on, month off. There's countries I really want to go to, which I get hounded for, is Italy, Brazil, Morocco, Japan, Korea, Philippines, maybe back to Thailand and Singapore, maybe back to Australia as well. I kind of want to maybe do Russia, been invited out there too. I definitely want to go back to the US. I'll be there for BarberCon in a few weeks. And what else? I said Brazil, didn't I? Maybe like other parts of South America too. Okay. I basically want to try and get to 50 countries by the middle of next year.
Right.
So I'm on 30 now, another 20.
Was the Morocco one inspired by my little video I did in Morocco?
Funny enough, Larry, actually I went there. That's what inspired the trip, because I went there 4 years ago. Okay. And that's when I got the taste for travel again. And that's when, because I went into the barbershops there, and I was like, this is cool, like coiffeur, do you know what I mean? Like, it kind of started to make me think. That's when the seed got planted in my head about doing the whole travel thing. But I did see, yeah.
I'm from Morocco. Okay.
But I did see your videos, so.
Okay, perfect. One last question. Just tell me some of the awards that you've won since you've been doing barbering.
I won the American Crew Face Off in 2013, so that was kind of black and white portraiture competition. It was really good to win. It's out to a couple of thousand people. I won the HJ Barber of the Year 2014, I think it is. That's like a live demonstration, which I get really nervous about that sort of stuff because people look at the numbers of the Instagram and the YouTube or whatever, and they like, I feel so much pressure that they expect something magnificent, do you know what I mean? But it's like that I'm just making videos about other barbers. So when I've got to cut live, I'm just like, oh God, I've actually got to do this. And then the other one, I got into the finals for the Wall Barber of the Year this year as well. That was pretty cool to compete. I did an afro, which I've only done 3 times before that.
Awesome afro, I must say. I saw your afro. We had a chat, didn't we? A little after.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing the stage work, but I don't think I'm ready to indulge too much into that just yet. I'm too busy.
That's right, and as you said, as the numbers go up, you kind of feel the pressure to perform.
Yeah.
Relative to the numbers.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like that Spanish guy soon who like cuts hair with swords and like fire and stuff. I'm gonna have to do that to step my game up.
You must have loads of ninja tricks up that sleeve.
Yeah.
Miguel, thank you very much for that interview. I learned a lot more about you, and I wish you every success in the future with all your endeavours, products, travelling, new shops, etc. And I'm sure in 1 year's time you're going to have many more things that you want to add to your repertoire. So
thanks, Larry.
Thank you.